Good morning and thanks for waking up with us today. I'm here with Hiba Rahim from the Bay County Islamic Society, and you've got a special event coming up tomorrow, don't you?
We do. This Saturday we have an event, the open house. We've had one before and we had a great turnout. It's at the mosque and we're inviting all of Bay County to come out, old, young, all ages. It's a family event and it's really a big, it's a big bridge building experience. So people, they have a lot of questions about Islam. And we've had a lot of requests for us to organize something where people can come and feel comfortable to ask their questions. And so we planned an open house, and we're trying to advertise in as many ways as possible and invite everybody to come on out.
Why are you doing this? I mean, and please take this in the spirit in which it's intended. There is I think when you hear about Muslims in the news, it's not always good. Do you think, is that one of the reasons why you're having this open house, so people can see that, yeah, you're normal people just like us?
I think that's exactly it. So basically, you turn on the news and you get your exposure to this fringe element of Muslims, and they don't at all reflect what Islam teaches, our Muslim beliefs. And that's hard for people to understand because they've never had the other perspective introduced to them. And most people, when you're out, they're not going to come up to you and just ask you these deep religious questions because it's not comfortable. They feel awkward to do that. And so we're hoping that by inviting them to our mosque with the intention of having them come and ask their questions, we can build mutual respect amongst one another, and we can build those bridges. And we're a community. We live here. We have Muslims, Christians, Jews, and all types of other faiths. And we need to understand each other in order to love and respect each other the way that, that it would require for us to be peaceful together.
Yeah, and I think to demystify the whole thing
Yeah.
is probably a good thing to do. When you see in the news, and we talked about it off air, if it bleeds, it leads. If you see a terrible thing happening in a faraway land,
Of course.
It's like, oh my goodness, this is all these people are up to overseas is, war and killing and all that stuff. That's not necessarily so, is it?
No, it's not. You have so many people. I mean, locally you have people, and internationally you have Muslims who are engaged in amazing activities, philanthropic activities. You have people who are on medical relief missions, but the news doesn't tend to cover those types of humanitarian events or even normal volunteer work. And the news just not people are not very interested in hearing about that. And when in fact people say, oh, we'd love to hear about Muslims doing great things, well, if you turn on the news and it's day in, day out, or once a week a Muslim group doing this nice event or that, then it becomes kind of boring. Then we're just trained, we're wired to be interested in things, like you said, if it bleeds, it leads.
Unusual or somehow
explosive, quite literally sometimes.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, these Muslims who are committing these atrocious acts in the name of Islam, it's just over. It's unexplicable, but people are completely lost in terms of what to believe. They don't know. And then I would imagine that if I heard that about another faith and then I see these people in front of me, personally, I'm a really social person, I would ask. But most people are not going to step out of their comfort zone and ask. They're just going to wonder, and they're just going to stare.
And we'll see you in the grocery store, and we'll see, what are they up to? Should I be afraid? And you really shouldn't, should you?
You really shouldn't. And this is, if you come out to the open house, again, it's on Saturday, 1:30 to 4:30. We'll talk about the address whenever is appropriate. And it's just, you'll see what Muslims really are. You'll be able to read. You'll be able to educate yourself. Ask your questions. Enjoy some hummus, tabbouleh, baklava. It's really warm. I mean, Muslims are very hospitable people and very nice people in general. And, I've had people ask me, they say, when people ask me a question, they say, I've always wondered this, so-and-so, but I've never asked. And at the end of my explanation, I always say, well, why didn't you ever ask? And they say, well, not all Muslims look very approachable. And I say, well, not all people look very approachable.
That's quite right.
You have Muslims who are in a hurry to pick up their kids, who are having a bad day. You have Muslims who are just, regular out and about, but not smiling all the time like everyone else we see.
That's right. And every now and then you'll see a grumpy TV host in Publix who doesn't want to be bothered. We got to run off to the local weather. But on the other side of that, I want to ask you, what's it like being a Muslim in Bay County?
Bay County is a small town, and most of maybe the older generation here don't have very much exposure. I mean, I've met a lot of people who haven't traveled very much, and so I feel a lot of questions when people look at me.
Maybe we can answer those questions after your local weather, brought to you by the West Pittman Law Firm. westpittmanlawfirm.com. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Hiba Rahim from the Islamic Society of Bay County, and we're talking about the open house that you're having on Saturday.
We are.
Before the break in the local weather, we talked a little bit about what it's like being Muslim in Bay County. Now, do you get strange looks in the stores, or do people approach you, or?
I said I think a lot of people look at me with a questioning eye. They're just uncertain. And, that's why we have this event for people to come and ask. But then there are also so many people who are very friendly. I mean, I get complimented on my scarf all the time. Very nice scarf. I have a lot of older folks who say things like, I wish my granddaughter dressed like you. And, really nice comments, positive comments. But overall, you have a little bit of both. You have some people who are very hostile, who will say something, just literally speak their mind and say, you go back home, you're not welcome here. And I've had that said to me numerous times. And then I've had more people say things like, you're American just like us, and we love that you're here, you add to the diversity. So it's a mix of everything. But no matter what your perspective is, there are always going to be more questions. And every new news event is going to elicit new uncertainties.
Yeah.
And that's why we invite people to come for dialogue and have a great time.
I think what a lot of people might have a problem wrapping their heads around is like, why aren't you assimilating? Why don't you look like us? How come you're not your typical soccer mom?
Right. And, I am a soccer mom. Actually, I'm going to go teach soccer at 8 o'clock.
Well, there you have it.
So, but in fact, this perception is very ethnocentric in terms of what us is versus what you are. America is a melting pot of different colors, backgrounds, ethnicities, beliefs even. And so I think we need to step out of this idea that there's an us and you. What defines what American is? Is it that you have to be white and blonde and blue eyes? Is that American? What about the blacks? What about the Hispanics? What about the Arabs? What about the Indians? They're all American. I mean, I was born in West Virginia. Do I need to put a straw in my mouth to prove it?
Play the banjo.
Yeah,
I'm from West Virginia.
I mean, that's
coal miner's daughter. Yeah.
I never been overseas. I never went overseas until I was a teenager. So this is the only country I know. So when somebody says, "Why don't you look more like us?" I say, "Well, I don't know what define us. Where did your parents come here from? Where did your grandparents come here from? How many generations will it take for people to be really recognized as American?" I mean, Muslims are identifiably Muslim through their outward covering, the woman specifically. So that's just the way they're always going to look.
And what is the reason for that? Can you just demystify the hijab?
I want to say you need to come to the open house to get the answer, but I will tell you.
Okay. You have to come to the open house to get the answer. No.
So the Muslim hijab literally means a covering, and it's the headscarf and covering the body. It's a form of obedience to God because we believe that God mandated that a Muslim woman be covered. But the idea, the wisdom behind it is for modesty. So to preserve a woman's body and to hide her beauty from the outside world is really the idea. And she's allowed to uncover in front of all male relatives at home. But there's this sexual attraction that is innately put in us as humans. And in order to minimize that type of attraction, then women and men are commanded to dress and act with certain codes of modesty.
Because many American women look at that as a sign of submission to men.
And ironically, many Muslim women look to the Western woman and say, I'm sorry that she has to dress like that. I'm sorry she feels that she has to expose her whole self in order to attract a man's attention. Whereas when I cover, the message that I'm sending to somebody is, don't pay attention to what I look like, pay attention to this. And it's totally different.
That's a very interesting concept, and I'd love to learn more about it. Where could I go? If I can't make it to the event tomorrow night, where can I go to learn more about it?
The mosque, the Bay County Islamic Society's doors are always open. Services are on Friday at 1 o'clock. People come regularly just to listen, and you can always ask your questions there. The website is baycountyislam.org or com.
Okay,
Try
we'll
both.
figure it out.
Yeah, and the number is 785-8085. That's the mosque number. People call sometimes and schedule an appointment. But again, the open house is Saturday from 1:30 to 4:30. It's off of Token Road. That's right behind Pete and Air Conditioning at the intersection of 390 and
we'll
Baldwin.
certainly get out there to take a look. Hiba Rahim, thank you so much for coming on the show and being so frank with us.
Thanks very much. Thanks for having me.
And we'll be right back after your Mad Hatter Minute.
Hi, I'm David Lovett, and this is your Mad Hatter Minute. Your axles are the last link in transferring power from the engine to the wheels. They are strong and they last a long time, but they can run into problems. Axles are wearable items. They will just wear out over time and need to be replaced. Sometimes axle seals leak, causing the axle to wear out prematurely. Lubricant leaks out and water and dirt can get in to contaminate the gears. When this happens, you might hear strange noises coming from your axles. If you have a rear-wheel drive vehicle, you'll hear a groaning noise coming from the back of the vehicle. If your vehicle is front-wheel drive, you'll hear the noise coming from the front. And of course, if you have an all-wheel drive vehicle and got both rear axles and front axle problems, you'll hear a problem from the front and the rear. A surefire sign that you have an axle problem is if you're turning left or you're turning right and you're hearing a clicking noise. Click, 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 click. Get your car to a shop soon because you got an axle problem. When there's a concern with the axle shaft, it'll be removed and inspected. If it is damaged, the shaft will have to be replaced. If the shaft is in good shape, it'll be cleaned, lubed, and reinstalled. If the axle fails completely, it can cause severe problems to include damaging the transmission. Taking care of your axles when they become a problem saves you time and money in the long run. If you got a question of whether or not your axles are bad or not, stop by Mad Hatter on 23rd Street. We'll do a free inspection and let you know the condition of your axles. I'm David Lovett, and that has been your Mad Hatter Minute.
Hey folks, this is Joshua Brown with Mad Hatter on 23rd Street. Is your check engine light on? If it is, text MADHAT28, that's MADHAT28, to 24247.
Welcome back to the show, and thanks for waking up with us this morning. I've got Benita King-Steinkamp here in the studio again. You may remember her as the lady hypnotist from that Halloween hypnosis comedy show. How did that go, Benita?
It went very well. We had a really large turnout, great food, and a fun show, and everyone was pleased.
So you had a good time. Everyone had a good time.
We had a really good time.
And the spaghetti came out okay, right?
Spaghetti came out okay.
That's awesome. Good.
It was fun.
Yeah, good. I'm glad to hear that. Now, you've got another event coming up, but before we get on to your next event, I want to ask you a couple of questions about Capstone House.
All right.
Now, it's an alternate learning center. What does that mean?
Yes, it's a futuristic learning center. It means that they address holistic wellness. They address mindfulness, Eastern philosophy, and they also have the Divinity Church there on Sunday, which is a wonderful, wonderful learning experience. So it's quite a wonderful place.
So you as a certified hypnotist, you just don't use your hypnotic skills for comedy and entertainment, but you also use it to improve people's lives with therapies.
That's right, to help them make choices for change, and those changes include anything from weight management, smoking cessation, stopping smoking, fear, phobia, anxiety. I really address all issues. So.
Well, it's a very interesting place, and it's interesting stuff that you do there.
Thank you.
But you've got something coming up. You've got an event happening
Yes,
soon?
we do. The holidays are on us, and so we have an indoor yard and craft sale. And it's November 14th and 15th, Friday and Saturday from 9 to 3. And what we have available tables for people who want to come in with their crafts or their yard sale items. And the tables are $10 per day. They can choose to go 1 day or 2 days. And if your items are too large for the inside the auditorium, we have the parking lot available for $5 a day.
Yeah, so if you want to tow your boat there or something,
That's right.
You can still do that. Yeah, it's happened at Capstone House.
So
do you need to bring your own tables, or will you provide a booth and tables?
Indoors, they have a 8-foot table and 2 chairs per day, and outdoors, they need to bring their own table if they need it, or just however they want to lay their things
it
out.
Sounds like a very good bargain. I mean, for $10 for the day, one sale, your table's paid for.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. It is, and we're when you set up there, you get a broader advertisement that it's going to happen because. We'll put it on Craigslist too, so it'll be around. So you have
and that's on the 14th and 15th.
The 14th and 15th.
At Capstone House on Beck Avenue.
9 to 3. 1713 Beck Avenue.
1713 Beck Avenue, and I've been in that facility, and you've got plenty of room.
Right.
And
that's
it's
right.
very conducive
and,
to
for
the sales and conversation.
For the just call 747-9224 and they will register you for your table.
747-9224.
Yes.
And you can register and get yourself a table.
Or they can come on by, just drop on by Capstone House.
Now you got a little tea or something coming up here this weekend too, don't you?
Yes, it's the tea party with Cindy. We can only accommodate 8 or 10 people, but we do have a few seats left for that. And it's in this event you'll learn about teas, different types of teas, make new friends, and sample different teas and light appetizers. Each tea party is limited to 8 to 10 people.
All right, so just a quaint little tea party for no particular reason.
It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
That sounds like a quaint thing to do. It's downright civilized. That's what it is,
That's
Benita.
right.
It's not a tea
That's
party.
right.
It's been a while since I've been to a tea.
I think occasionally they
yeah.
dress in costume. I don't know if they will this time or not, but they dress in a time period costume.
Now,
garb.
Benita, if someone wanted to learn more about Capstone House, aside from the events they have there, where could we go? Do you have a website?
Yes, we do have a website. It's Capstone House Inc., and you can find it on the net. I don't know what
You
it
could
is.
just Google up Capstone House and you'll find it.
That's right. And we have an entire calendar of events throughout the month, things that are very interesting for people to learn about or experience. So go online and look us up.
Well, I hope you come back and tell us more about the upcoming events. In the meantime, on the 14th and the 15th, you have that yard sale, that indoor yard sale at Capstone House.
That's right, and give us a call at 747-9224. And when you're out and about that morning, 9 to 3, come on out and see us because it's going to be a large event.
There'll be some cool stuff there to have.
Absolutely.
Benita, thanks so much for coming back on the show.
You're very welcome.
Look forward to seeing you next week.
All right. Have a great afternoon.
All right, and we'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to the show. It's the weekend. It's coming up, so you know what that means. We have Carol Cat Turner here in the studio from Live 850, that handy app you all should have on your phones or your iPads to know what's going on around town and around the 850 area code.
How convenient is that to be able to open up your cell phone and just go to the application?
Yeah, you're not rustling through the newspaper.
Find out where everything is, all your favorite bands, all kinds of good stuff. But yeah, well, it's Friday and it's our very last Friday Fest. So
the last one.
The last one. That's going to be a big deal. And we thought we were going to have a really cold weekend, but now it's turning out to be beautiful. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. We want everybody to come out.
Bring a sweater anyway. You never know. The evenings can get cool.
Yeah, and I want to talk about one of the bands that's going to be playing there, Georgia Clay. Harold Crowder's son played, he was their drummer. And they recently had a horrific accident where Joni, another member of the band, her brother and brother-in-law were both in the same accident where they got trapped in a fire.
Oh my God.
And were burned, and so our prayers go out to them. There's going to be a fundraiser on the 22nd of November at Pineapple Willie's.
Oh, geez.
So y'all keep an eye out.
22
for details
November. We'll keep an eye out for that one.
Also tonight at Roberts Hall. They're doing a wonderful thing for this great little nonprofit called Special Spaces that designs dream bedrooms for children with critical illnesses. And so you can take your children there, have your picture made with Santa for $5, and all of the proceeds go to Special Spaces.
That sounds like a wonderful charity because, you know, if you're a sick child, you probably spend a lot of time in your bedroom.
That's so true.
Why not have it be a really nice environment?
So true, so true. Check out the Lynn Haven Ledger today for more information on that charity. We also have Holly Fair and Big Doings. That's going to be a great event, great entertainment. Everybody get out to Boardwalk Beach Resort and enjoy the Holly Fair. That benefits the Junior League and all of the great stuff that they do for our community. So we want everybody to go out and to support that this weekend. And then Sunday at Roberts Hall, Cafe Americana. You know, if you haven't been to Roberts Hall in Lynn Haven, that's a wonderful old building. It was established by the Oddfellows, and it's a great building. And all the proceeds from that concert series and the things that they do there go to benefit the restoration of historic Roberts Hall. So
You know, and I'm crazy for history, and I just love old structures like that. And I'm so happy that they're, restoring that area. And what a lot of people don't know is that Florida Avenue, where that is,
yes,
used to be Main Street.
It was the
Used to be
center
Main
of the
Street in Lynn Haven,
community.
yeah.
It was the center of the community, and it's got a great history. The Oddfellows are the oldest fraternal chapter in the United States. And that was established by the White Town founders who came there from up north. And Lynn Haven has a statue that's dedicated to the Union soldier. So it's an interesting place.
It is an interesting
Come
little
and
piece of history right up there at in Lynn Haven. Carol Cat Turner, thanks so much. How do we get this app on our phone?
Hey, it's a free download from iTunes or Google Play. Just go and upload the application and list your events for free just by clicking Contact Us and putting in the details from your events.
Thank you again. Get that app. And thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next time.